Greetings.
How are you?
Good. How
Good.
are you? So I guess it's just the three of us tonight. What do you guys want to do?
My neck's a bit sore. Don't know why.
Your neck is sore? Okay. Is there anything else that you want to do?
I have sore legs.
Okay, sore legs, neck.
I presume that's what you meant when you said anything else related.
Do you have a strap handy so we could do some hamstrings then today if you have a strap? We have time. We have 5 minutes, so we have time.
Oh. We have our straps.
You have your straps? Okay, good.
No, we're good to start whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's start then. We can start early tonight, like a few minutes early.
Yeah, for once I'm not late.
Exactly. And you have you're always on time with this.
Yeah, no, I definitely start the meeting with I'm usually rolling in like 1 minute after.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's start the class in Shavasana. So let's start laying down on our backs. And we're recording, yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, let's start in Shavasana. And take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale it all out, let it all go. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it all out, let it all go. And with every inhale and exhale, allowing your body to begin to settle. Letting your mind begin to calm. Letting the day slow down. And taking a few moments to check in with yourself this evening. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body's feeling. Taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Notice any areas where you might be carrying tension. Any areas that might be a little bit sore. maybe a little bit stiff. And breathing into those areas, letting your breath soften anything that might be tight or stiff. Bring relief to anything that might be sore. And dissolve any tension. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Take a few moments to set an intention for the class this evening. Something you wish to receive from your practice. On the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Slowly waking up your body. And then on the next inhale, draw those knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then drawing your feet back down onto the mat. And then pick up that right foot and cross it over your left. And coming into reclined pigeon, so draw that left knee into your chest. And maybe you clasp your hamstring or your shin. And with every inhale, you can draw that knee closer into your chest. Or you can just let your body settle here, removing any tension from that left leg, from your right ankle. Keep breathing into that right hip. On the next inhale, can you draw that left knee in a little bit closer to your chest? And exhale, hold here. Trying to keep your shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Removing any tension from your neck. Notice maybe if that left foot is a little bit tense, can you soften it a little bit more? On the next inhale, can you draw that left knee in a little bit closer? Exhale, hold here. We'll take a few more breaths here, allowing those shoulders to soften. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Slowly release the hands as you lower that left foot down. And then shift your hips to the right side of the mat. Open your arms up into a T and let that right knee drop down to the left side. So coming into a twist. Keeping your right shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Your eyes could fall over that right shoulder. Your left hand can rest on that right knee. Let your body settle into the twist. Breathing into any sensations that you might be feeling. Letting your breath bring softness to those areas. We'll take a few more breaths here. Letting your body settle a little bit more into the twist. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Slowly draw those knees back to center. Release your right leg, square the hips. Then pick up that left foot and cross it over your right. And then draw that right knee into your chest, and either clasping your hamstring or your shin. Trying to keep both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Removing any tension from your ankles. On the next inhale, can you draw that right knee in a little bit closer to your chest? And exhale, hold here. Letting your body settle. Breathing into that left hip. Removing tension from your neck. And notice how this side feels. Where the sensations are. Breathing into those areas. On the next inhale, can you draw that right knee in a little bit closer to your chest? Exhale, hold here. Letting your shoulders soften. Notice maybe if there's any tension in that right ankle or your left ankle. On the next inhale, can you draw that right knee in a little bit closer? Letting your body settle. We'll take a few more breaths here. Letting those shoulders soften a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly release the hands as you lower that right foot down. Shifting your hips to the left side of the mat. Opening your arms up into a T and let that left knee drop down to the right side. Coming into a twist. Keeping that left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Your eyes could look over that left shoulder. Your right hand could rest on the top of that left knee. Breathing into any sensations that you might be feeling on this side. Letting your breath soften those areas. We'll take a few more breaths here. Letting your body settle a little bit more into the twist. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Slowly draw those knees back up to center. Releasing that left leg, squaring those hips. Draw your knees into your chest. Give them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. And then opening up to happy baby, grab the outside of those feet, open the knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Drawing your knees back into your chest and letting them sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the left side or to the right side, coming into fetal position. Offering a couple breaths of gratitude. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up, making your way to tabletop position. And stacking our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. We'll move into some cat-cows with movements. So on the inhale, drop your belly, pull that chin forward. On the exhale, press into your palms, round the spine, and send your hips down to the right. Circle them all the way to the left. Inhale, drop that belly, pull that chin forward. Exhale, press into your palms, round your spine, send the hips down to the left. Circle them all the way to the right. Couple more breaths here. Inhale, drop that belly, pull that chin forward. Exhale, press into your palms, round your spine. Send your hips down to the right, circle them all the way to the left. Last one, inhale, drop that belly, pull that chin forward. Exhale, press into your palms, round your spine. Send your hips down to the left, circle them all the way to the right. And coming back to neutral spine. And then opening your knees as wide as the mat. Drawing those big toes together. And then push back to your child's pose, widening child's pose. Allow your shoulders to soften. Breathing into those hips. Letting gravity draw your glutes closer to your feet. Maybe your forehead rests on a mat. Maybe you slide a block underneath if it doesn't, just to remove tension from your neck. And keeping your breath nice and deep, nice and even. With every exhale, allowing those shoulders to settle. Breathing into those hips. We'll take a few more breaths here. Keep breathing into those shoulders and into your hips. Letting them soften with every exhale. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. Slowly come back to tabletop position. Stacking your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So we're going to move into dragon pose. So step your right foot forward. And at the beginning, we'll keep it underneath our shoulder. So on the inhale, reach those hands up. And exhale, let that body settle. With every exhale, allowing that left hip to release as you push into that right. You can keep your hands up or you can keep your hands on your hips, whatever feels comfortable. And take a deep breath in, reach those hands up. And then exhale, begin to back bend, just a slight back bend, just changing the sensations of this posture. Take a couple more breaths in here. Exhale, maybe you back bend a little bit deeper. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, release the hands down to the mat. And then from here, maybe you keep that foot underneath your shoulder if it's mobile, if you're feeling mobile that way. Or maybe you walk your foot up to the edge of the mat. And open up that hip if you're a little bit tight. And then maybe you stay on the palms of your hands. Or maybe you make your way down to your forearms. Just honoring your body, listening to that right hip. Maybe you use a block. And keep breathing into that right hip. Breathing into the sensations. You might be feeling it a bit on that left quad. We're getting the big one done first tonight. Allowing that right hip to settle a little bit more. And the sensation we're looking for is heat. So if you're going a little bit too far and feeling something a little bit hotter, you're going a little bit too deep into the posture. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, maybe you walk your hands out a little bit further or go a little bit deeper onto your forearms. Maybe you've reached your maximum today and you stay where you're at. Maybe you need to walk out of the posture a little bit. And take a deep inhale here. Exhale it all out. Then on the next inhale, begin to walk your hands over to the left. So about a 45-degree, we're gonna come into Twisted Dragon. And take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, push back a little bit on that right glute. So feeling a little bit different of a sensation. Maybe you're feeling mobile today and you can walk down onto your forearms. We're not here very long. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then begin to walk those hands up a little bit and then walk them back to center. And then if your foot is out on the edge of the mat, walk it back so that it's underneath your shoulder. And we'll come back to where we started with this dragon pose. So reach those hands up. Exhale, let those hips settle down. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, maybe you slightly back bend just for an exhale. Inhale, come all the way back up. Release your hands to the inside of the leg as you draw that right leg back. And then kick your feet to one side or another. We're going to come into Shavasana, so coming back onto your mats. Lowering all the way down onto your back. Allowing your palms to face up. Allowing that right hip to settle. Notice the sensations that you're feeling as it begins to release. Keep breathing into that right hip. Maybe you feel a little bit in the left. Letting your shoulders soften. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to draw those knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side, a little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then let your knees sway from the left to the right. And gently coming back to fetal position, either to the left or to the right. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then on the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up, making your way back to tabletop position. So we can set up for the other side. Stepping that left foot forward. Keeping it underneath your shoulder. And then begin to reach your hands up. Exhale, letting your body settle into dragon pose. Notice how this side feels. You can always keep your hands up, or you can draw them onto your hips, whatever feels comfortable. And take a deep breath in here, reach those hands up. Exhale, maybe you slightly back bend. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, maybe you back bend a little bit further. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, release those hands down to the mat. And maybe you keep that foot underneath your shoulder if you're mobile. Maybe you walk that foot out to the edge of the mat. And then from here, you can stay on the palms of your hands. If you're feeling it already in that left hip, maybe you open up that left hip. Maybe you walk your hands out down onto your forearms. Maybe you slide a block underneath. Breathing into that left hip. You may feel it a little bit on that right quad. Again, we're looking for heat, so if you're feeling a nice warmth, you're in the right place. If you're feeling something a little bit more intense, maybe release out of it a little bit. Keep breathing into the sensations that you're feeling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, maybe lowering yourself down. Maybe you've reached your maximum and you stay where you're at. Maybe you need to release out of the posture a little bit. Just honor your body. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly come back onto the palms of your hands. And begin to walk those hands to about a 45-degree. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale, push back on that, a little bit on that left glute. Allowing that left hip to open up a little bit more. Changing the sensations. And maybe you stay here on the palms of your hands, or maybe you walk down onto your forearms. We have a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk those hands back to the top of your mat. And then if your foot's on the outside of the mat, begin to walk it back to where it started, underneath your shoulder. And then reach your hands up, letting your body settle. Inhale, reach those hands up. Exhale, back bend just for the exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the hands to the inside of your foot. Release that left leg back. Kick the knees to one, kick your feet to one side or another, coming into a seated position. And lowering all the way down into Shavasana. Allowing your palms to face up. Allowing that left hip to begin to settle. Maybe you feel a little bit in that right hip as well. Take a few more breaths here. Noticing the sensations that you're feeling as that left hip releases. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And slowly begin to draw those knees into your chest. Giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then letting your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. Taking one deep breath in. One deep breath out. Then on the next inhale, begin to press your way up. Back to tabletop position. So we can set up for space pose. So walk those hands out and then lower all the way down onto your stomach. Release your toes and elbows underneath your shoulders. Or maybe you walk your hands out a little bit further to soften the curve of your spine. Removing tension from your legs. Let your body begin to soften. Breathing into any sensation that you might be feeling in your spine, maybe in your shoulders. Letting your body find rest. And take a deep inhale here. And exhale, draw that chin to your chest. Stretching out the back of your neck. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw that chin to your chest a little bit closer? We'll take a couple more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw that chin a little bit closer? Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, draw that chin back up. And then exhale, draw your right ear to your right shoulder. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw your ear a little bit closer to your shoulder? Two more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, drawing it a little bit closer. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, draw that chin back to center. And then exhale, drawing that left ear to your left shoulder. 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw that ear a little bit closer to your shoulder? 2 more. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, draw that chin back to center. And then draw it back up to neutral. It's fine. And then from here, either staying in Sphinx pose or maybe you move into seal by pressing into the palms of the hands, straightening those elbows, drawing your shoulders down and away from your ears. And maybe you feel mobile in your spine tonight, so you walk those hands up a little bit closer to your body. Just keep drawing the shoulders down and away from your ears. We'll take a few more breaths here. Notice if your feet have carried any tension. Can you soften your ankles? Keeping your breath nice and deep. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Let it all go. Slowly lower all the way down. Drawing your hands together and letting your forehead rest on the top of your hands. Letting your spine begin to settle. Letting your shoulders soften. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly draw the hands underneath your shoulders, push up to tabletop. And then keeping those knees together, push back to child's pose. So rounding your spine, tapping your chin. Your elbows could draw to your knees, or you could always take them behind to your feet. Trying to allow the top of your head to rest on the mat. Maybe you slide a block underneath. But allow the shoulders to settle. Allow your body to enjoy the counter pose. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On the next inhale, slowly begin to roll out of the posture. Very nice. Kicking your feet to one side or another, coming to a seated position, and making sure that you have your block handy and your strap. And lowering all the way down onto our backs. We're going to come into supported bridge. So draw those heels as close to your glutes as possible. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it all go. Then slowly shift those hips up and slide that block underneath your tailbone, or maybe it draws up a little bit higher. And when you find that spot, allow those hips to release into that block. Allow your palms to face up. Allow your shoulders to soften. Letting your body enjoy the restorative pose. And acknowledging any thoughts that might be rising up. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. And you allow your hips to sink a little bit deeper into that block. Feeling supported. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly shift those hips up. Sliding that block from underneath, and then slowly letting those hips lower down into the mat. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, letting that body settle. Then grabbing your strap and drawing your right knee into your chest. Take that strap and draw it around the ball of that right foot as you straighten that right leg up to the sky. And then straighten that left leg And then keeping that left heel pressed into the mats. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, begin to slowly draw those toes to the back of the room. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer to the back of the room? 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And we'll take a few more breaths here, just letting that leg settle. Take 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Then slowly draw the strap into that right hand. And then begin to open up that right leg. Nice and slow. Keeping both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, maybe you draw those right toes to the back of the room. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? We'll take a few more breaths here, allowing that right leg to settle. Take 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Very nice. And slowly draw that right leg back up. As you draw the strap into that left hand, open that right arm into a T, and then let that right leg drop down to the left side, keeping your right shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you draw those toes to the back of the room? 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? 1 more inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? And take a few breaths here just to let that right leg settle. Allow your shoulders to soften. Take 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Slowly draw that right leg back up to center. Bringing the strap back to both hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer to the back of the room? Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly release the strap as you lower that right leg down. Giving it a little bit of a gentle shake. And then draw that left knee into your chest. And bring that strap around the ball of that left foot as you straighten it up to the ceiling. Strap in both hands. Take an inhale. Exhale, can you draw the left toes to the back of the room? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? We'll take a few breaths here, just letting that left leg settle. Keeping those shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Very nice. And draw the strap to that left hand as you open up that left leg. Keeping both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes to the back of the room? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take one more breath in. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? We'll take a few breaths here, letting that left leg settle. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then slowly draw that left leg back up to center. As you bring the strap to that right hand and let that left leg fall down to the right. Nice and slow. Keeping both shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, draw those left toes to the back of the room. 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes a little bit closer? Take one more inhale. Exhale, draw those toes a little bit closer. We'll take a few breaths here, letting that left leg settle. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On the next inhale, slowly begin to draw that left leg back up to center. Bringing the strap back to both hands. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, can you draw those toes to the back of the room? Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the strap as you lower that left leg down. Giving it a little bit of a gentle shake. Draw those knees into your chest. Give them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. And then releasing your feet down onto the mat. Grab that block again. We're going to come into waterfall. So draw the knees into your chest. Shift up the hips as you slide that block underneath your tailbone. And the option too from here, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you could always move it into plow pose. Just try to keep your neck straight if you're moving into plow. But allow your shoulders to soften. You can have a slight bend in the knees. Just letting your body find rest. Notice how your body feels as your blood circulates in the opposite direction, drawing to your heart. If your mind wanders or drifts away or gets distracted, just drawing your attention back to your breath, back to your inhales and your exhales. And if you're in cloud pose, just breathing into your neck. Into your shoulders. And take a few more breaths here. And if you're in cloud pose, begin to slowly roll out vertebrae by vertebrae. And if you're in waterfall, shift those hips up, removing the block and drawing those knees into your chest. And we'll all meet here, giving a nice big squeeze, gently rocking a little bit of side to side, a little bit of forward and backwards. Circle your knees in one direction, circle your knees in the opposite direction. Opening up to happy baby, grab the outside of those feet, open the knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, open up to Shavasana, legs as wide as the mat. Palms to face up. Letting your body melt into the mat. Taking this opportunity to let go. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. Taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Notice if anywhere you might be carrying tension. Breathing into those areas. Letting your breath dissolve any tension. Letting your body fully relax. Surrendering to this posture. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Mind to find a little bit more peace. On the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently move your toes. Slowly waking up your body. Drawing your attention back to the room. On the next inhale, slowly reach those arms up and overhead. And then grabbing one wrist and gently pulling it to one side of the room, feeling the stretch in that side body. Then release that wrist, grab the other wrist, gently pull it to the opposite side. Release that wrist, reach your hands to the very back of the room and your feet to the very front. On the next inhale, take a full body stretch, breathe in, reach. Exhale, let it all go. Slowly draw both knees into your chest, give them a nice big squeeze. Showing them some love. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then let your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. Offering breaths of gratitude. Grateful for your practice this evening. Taking time to slow down, to connect with your body and with your breath. Take a few moments to reflect on the intention you set at the beginning of practice. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. On the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up to a seated position, keeping your eyes closed and drawing your hands to heart center when you arrive. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, let it all go. On the next inhale, draw a gentle smile to your face. Exhale it all out. Take a few moments to thank your body for all the hard work it did today. I thank you, and I'm very humbled and blessed by your practice. Namaste. Great job, guys.
That was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel much better.
I know, I was thinking the dragon would be really good, and then moving it to the side and pushing back in that glute would feel nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it windy there?
It is, yeah, it's raining. So you probably heard rain or something, because it's like...
Well, I could really hear the wind here, and I've never heard it that loud in quite a while. So when we were lying down, you could just hear Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have a great evening, guys. It's nice to
You too.
practice with you. Be healthy and be safe, eh? It doesn't look like it's getting any better.
Oh, my goodness. I was surprised to hear of all the cases in Cornwall. I was just reading up on it today.
I know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, like we're back to, I think Cornwall's like code orange at the moment. So
Yeah. And Ontario for sure is, who knows if it's going to keep going up or not.
well, yeah, I know. It's like you just don't know anymore. It's like you think that it's going one way and then it goes the complete opposite way, eh? So it's like,
Like I think Toronto, they did red, right?
yeah, like Toronto, Oakville, Peel region. I think there's a whole bunch that are in the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets better. Like, hopefully it slowly starts to flatten a little bit, right?
Hard.
I'm not holding my breath. I think the first wave was just a dry run for what's coming.
Well, we're doing worse now than the first wave, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what they were saying about all those businesses that were closed March, April, May, right? So then they're like, well, what do you think how are you feeling now where you made them close down and then now, I don't know. And I think Manitoba closed down too.
Yeah, Manitoba's code red, and I think Saskatchewan too.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's like I said, to me it's a dry run. This was just a test to see how people would behave, and everyone's failed miserably. Not everyone, but a lot of people have failed miserably. They just didn't take it seriously the first time around.
Yeah.
Now we're getting real community spread for real. Like I said, it was a dry run, and now it's not. Now this is gonna get real.
Well,
Very
plus
real.
it's like winter, so people are
Yeah, it's quote unquote
inside.
flu season now.
Yeah, well, instead of being outside and probably getting together outside, they're getting together inside, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it's at next week when we practice on Sunday. It's like every Sunday is always something different, right? It's like, yeah.
Are you mentally prepared for the thought of staying home? Like if it comes to that?
I am actually, yeah. I don't mind. Like I think I'm okay, there's so many things you can do online too, like you could always do yoga and like all that sort of stuff, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that I can do to keep myself busy. So I don't really worry about that, I don't think a lot of people are prepared to like live in their house with their spouses, like they just don't know how to like have a regular conversation with people. Like, or with their spouse, right? Like they're more comfortable, like, oh, it's guys' night tonight, or it's like, oh, we're gonna go here. Like they're always with people, right? But they're never just together alone. Like you just see people struggling.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah, we're so lucky that way that we're like this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes such a big difference, But then there's some people that just don't know how to, right? Or like they have kids and they don't realize that that's like 24-hour commitment with their kids, right? Because normally they're like at school or at like activities, like, yeah.
Yeah, like
Do you watch The Good Doctor?
Do I watch what?
Good Doctor?
No.
The season now is they're doing like it's all about the virus, and that's one of the things where the couple, he's a doctor, so he's at home and she's at home, right? So they're older, like they don't have any kids. And yeah, that's what we're seeing now is they're like, I think because he feels like, oh, I should be at work, but he can't. So he's at home and she's at home and she's like, well, let's do something, and he's just like, no. And he's playing like video games or whatever. And she thinks he's working. And then she comes, he's like, yeah, I'm busy. So she comes and sees it. So she gets all upset. You don't want to spend time with me, but you're playing video games. So exactly what, there's only so many hours, right, that they want to spend together.
Yeah.
It was good
Yeah.
though, and it was neat to see like the whole doctor, like the whole situation with the nurses and the doctors. It was sad. I cried on a few of those episodes.
So it's called The Good Doctor? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yep.
The Good Doctor. So it's on season 3 or 4 now. So of course they just wrote in the COVID
Yeah.
this season, right? So everything right now has been based on that.
Okay. I'll have to look it up.
Good.
Do you watch Law and Order SVU?
I used to. I haven't watched in a long time.
They're having a really interesting situation right now. They're working COVID into the show, but they're being extremely inconsistent about the wearing of masks. Like you'll have like one person in a room wearing a mask and the other two aren't, and it's like, if you're writing a show, why aren't all three people wearing a mask?
Yeah.
But it is the US, so I don't
It's
know.
the US, right? So I guess
Was
they
it
don't
ever
have the same
mandatory?
thing that's mandatory, right?
I don't know.
But on the other hand, like if you have a show, you have a social responsibility to behave correctly,
Right.
right? So,
Yep.
so should the actors be behaving properly? And to me, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't,
If
you
they
shouldn't
want.
be giving mixed messages to the public.
Yeah. Yeah. Set an example so that public will follow, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'll have to watch that. So it's the new season of SVU?
Yep.
Yeah.
Law and Order SVU.
It was so weird at first. You're like, oh, and then you're seeing it's like, wow, this is very inconsistent of when they're wearing masks. Why did they anyway if they're gonna do that?
Like it was almost, you know how when the camera pans from one person to the other and back and forth, and in reality, never mind COVID, but in reality, let's say something went wrong with one of the actors, they could reshoot all of the scenes that were pointed at the one actor. Even though we see them at back and forth, they could actually be completely shot separately.
Yeah.
So it was almost like it was this one scene, it was almost as if they had reshot all of the one actor's lines later when he needed to wear a mask. And it was like,
Maybe they read it, yeah.
like what the hell? So it was actually like there's like articles online about it. Inconsistent, inconsistent. Like why? If you're gonna do that,
It's interesting to see the next episodes now.
like some of the other like in The Good Doctor, they've established bubbles. Like certain doctors have moved in together to create their own bubble,
Oh, wow.
right?
And then the other one who comes home, he's sleeping in the garage
Yeah,
because
he lives in the garage.
his wife, right? Like he can't.
Mhm.
He's in there all the time. So you're like,
Yeah.
wow, these people actually had to probably do that to
But-
stay away from their spouse or their
Yeah.
kids and everything, right?
But it's a show about a hospital, so
Yeah.
of course they're going to be responsible. So they seem to be doing everything correctly.
Yeah.
Although, half the time or a quarter of the time, they go to talk to someone and they take their mask off to talk to them. It's like,
You
I
want to
mean,
understand what they're saying.
okay, I understand that, yeah, you need to be reading lips, but it's also a show about a hospital where even before COVID, they're going to be wearing surgical masks in the operating room. So wearing a mask should not be an impediment,
Yeah.
a hospital show. They're going to be wearing masks normally. So why are they taking them off now to talk to the general public?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
But but they were being smart about it. The actors were wearing pictures of themselves around their neck. So all the doctors and all the nurses had a picture of themselves, so you could see their full face on a photo right here.
Oh, that's cool.
So it had their name, it had their face, they were smiling in the pictures. Even though they're wearing a mask, you can see the eyes, you can
Yeah.
see the eyes of the same person. So then, because many people, it's a difficult thing to talk to someone who's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So by having it's their job to make the patients feel comfortable. So, okay, here, if you're not looking at my face, you can look at my picture, and at least, you develop a relationship a little better because you're able to bond with the person's facial features.
Yeah.
So So, but yeah, it was like they got that one. They got about 95% right. It was just when they pulled the mask off to talk to people. It's like you got a picture around your neck. That's the reason I don't take your friggin' mask off. But that's the thing that gets me. So many people taking their mask off to speak to other people. That's the time you need it on because you're spewing stuff out. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's like, talk louder, we'll hear you.
Just enunciate your words properly.
Yeah.
This is the new normal. You gotta learn to live with it. I mean, you see these clear masks, like with a filter at the bottom, and you can see the facial features, but not everyone's gonna get those.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Law and Order SVU, SWAT.
Yeah, SWAT was good too.
SWAT was good. They're not doing it as much as they should, I would say, but they do have some use of masks.
If he got out, he had to pull someone over. He wasn't wearing a mask in the car, and then he pulls because he was a cop. Then he whips on his mask really fast, and then he goes out.
I'll have to watch those.
I remember when COVID first hit. I remember this one show we watched, and it was like, hey, this is the new thing. They mailed me all the equipment with all the instructions on how to set it up myself and tape myself. This is how I did the show.
Yeah.
Editing?
No, that was Survivor. Remember?
Oh, he had to do the.
Yeah,
it was already all taped.
Oh yeah, it was all
But-
taped.
but
They
the
had to do the finale. That's what it was. Like the way that it worked
yeah.
is you watch the show, which occurred months ago,
Yeah.
and then the finale is done in real time. Well, between when they did the show and COVID hit, okay, now they got to film the finale in real time, but now we're in COVID. So what do they do? So they sent him all the equipment, all the props, the instructions on how to set it up. He sets it up in his garage, and he films himself in his garage to do the finale. And it's like legit. These guys are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That was when it was really bad in like New York and all these places.
It still is. I'm sure it's worse than it was. That's the
know.
thing. I mean, but now people are so much more complacent about it. I guess because as many people are dying as they think, and people get tired of it. They get mentally fatigued, and I think they're just, you make mistakes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy. But yeah, like for me, I could just stay in my house 24/7.
Me too. I'm like, this is fine.
You can
groceries.
like my mother-in-law, Julie, orders all of her food to be delivered. So someone delivers it to her apartment. So that's what she does for her parents. But in theory, we could do. I don't know that they have service out where we are, but I'm sure we could do the same thing. We get the bulk of our food already pre-delivered. Like we buy, like all of our meats, we get those from.
Well, we already bought it.
I can't remember the name now.
It's grocer.
Home grocers. Yeah,
Okay.
home grocers. We get the odd box like the.
Well, we haven't had that in ages.
Good food. Like we
Yeah.
tried all of the ones because they all, we've tried them all. So
I
the
just go to
only thing
Foodland.
that we go to Foodland for is salad, milk, egg,
Not milk. I don't buy anything.
so almond milk, cream. I meant to say cream. So cream, eggs,
I'll just see everything.
salad. What else?
Fruits and veggies.
Fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
So all of our protein we already have in the freezer. All of our frozen vegetables we already have in the freezer.
I still go though. At first, I was going like once every 2 weeks. Now I've got to the habit of going like twice a week. But that's just at Foodland, so I'll go there and get fresh stuff, right? So, but I think we'll have to stop if it starts to get worse. Right?
But there are creative ways around that. You can grow your own lettuce inside.
Yeah.
So you can have like this wall of lettuce, and you just keep eating and planting. And like you eat this row, and then when you've eaten it, you plant it. And then you eat the next row, and then when you've eaten it, you plant it. By the time you work your way up to the row, the first row is ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Have continuously growing lettuce that way. And it takes, just 4 feet of your wall.
Yeah.
And you got enough lettuce for the rest of your life. And there's all sorts of other things that you can do to be creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty neat. Well, we will let you get back to it.
Yeah, well, you have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
see you
good.
then. Thank you.
Great chatting with you. Talk to you later.
And our next
Bye.
wine social is coming up sooner than later.